everybody, and welcome back to our weekly Dr. Stone chit-chat videos, and I gotta say, they are wasting no time getting to the whole kingdom of science versus the kingdom of might, are they? Because today we are talking about episode 18, Stone Wars. But before we get into the actual episode itself, I do want to give a big thank you to those of you who shared last week's video over on Twitter, at No For Nothing, at Nacho Gashardo, and at Tenko Yai. Thank you guys for sharing last week's video over on Twitter. It is very much appreciated. And if you too would like to have your name shouted out in next week's Dr. Stone video, then be sure to share this video around on the internet and then tag me at JoJo Talks Too Much over on Twitter, and I will be sure to shout your name out in next week's video. Now with that said, I gotta say, Dr. Stone has been on such a roll as of late. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the ranks I've been giving each episode, but it has been consistently at an A rank. Like, I have been adoring this whole, like the arc with Byakuya leading into the whole Stone Wars thing. It has been insanely good lately. Like, Dr. Stone only improves the longer we go with it and the deeper into the story we get. And that's not always true for a lot of shonen, or really just a lot of anime in general. It can get sort of like middling the longer we get in. Usually the beginning is hype, and then we have this sort of middling part with like little peaks and valleys, and then we get the big hype ending, or the big disappointing ending, depending. And with Dr. Stone, it just continues the upswing from the jump. We've had little mini lulls here and there, but for the most part, it's been up and up and up and up and up, and the show just continues to improve. I really don't know if we'll see a point where I'm like straight up disappointed in a Dr. Stone episode, but you know, go ahead and knock on wood for that, because I don't want to jinx myself, but I really just don't see me being disappointed with the show anytime soon, because it has been insanely good lately. Now with that said, I gotta say, when we get into episode 18, we start off like immediately where episode 17 left off. Stone Wars jumps right into things, and I thought we would get sort of like a mini arc of them prepping for the battle with Tsukasa. I wasn't expecting to immediately be thrust into the war. Like, it kicks off immediately with a quick skirmish, and maybe I'm just a big sucker, right? Because I've been saying in a couple of these videos, not just Dr. Stone, but pretty much all throughout the autumn season, like, oh, that surprised me. And people in the comments have been like, really, that surprised you? And it's not been like, you're dumb, but it's more of just like, really, that surprised you? I kind of saw that coming. And I'm starting to realize maybe I'm just bad at seeing stuff coming, because honestly, I thought Kinro was dead. Like, for a genuine minute there, I thought that was the end of my boy, and I was so scared because I love Kinro, and he's probably my favorite of the cast. Which I know for some people it's like, what? It's not Chrome or Gen or Tsukasa. I love basically the entire cast, but Kinro's just my boy. Like Kinro's the one that I'm like, let nothing bad happen to Kinro, but because he is essentially the jobber of the group, he's like the Piccolo of the group, the one who jumps in first at the beginning of the arc to get his ass kicked, so you're like, oh man, the other guys are real scary. That's Kinro's job in Dr. Stone, it seems. And I was nervous that maybe his job had come to an end, to show just how like badass Tsukasa's second in command was, and he is certainly badass. That dude's like crazy spear that like spins, I can't remember what the name of it, and I'm sure people will let me know in the comments, but that thing is scary. Like that, I can only imagine how scary that would be to actually see in combat, because like you can't tell where the top of the spear is, so when the tip's coming at you and it's spinning like that and you're getting cut up to shreds, it's like getting caught in like the propellers of a helicopter or something. That's terrifying stuff, and Kinro was just not prepared at all. And seeing, man, I don't even like talking about it, because like they set up the scene brilliantly with him being like, okay, Ginro, you have to get back to the village and tell them that they're here, because if they get to the huts with the kids in it, like that's it, village is dead. So you need to get back to them, let them know they're here, and if I'm losing, you gotta cut the ropes to the bridge, because I'm done. Like, I'm gonna have to hold the line. And if I'm not doing that, you gotta cut the bridge and kill me, but you'll also stop them. Like, it's gotta happen. Which also does tell me, at some point, the bridge is coming down. Like, at some point during the war, we are gonna see the bridge come down. Like, I am just prepared for that. But yeah, seeing my boy, and it's not like they completely make him a jobber, right? Like, cause Kinro he is able to outmaneuver the bigger, dumber characters in the Tsukasa, like in the Kingdom of Might. And the Kingdom of Might does seem like, might equals right. So I'm not exactly expecting these people to be like total combat masters. They're obviously going to be kind of dim-witted. Like, they're all strength and very little in terms of like actual like battle strategy, except for characters like Gen and characters like New Guy, whose name is escaping me. Again, I'm sure people let me know in the comments. New Guy is cool though. Don't think that my misremembering his name means that he's forgettable, because he's very much not. I love his whole like, that wouldn't be very proper. Like, I really like this guy because he seems more like sort of, I don't want to say honorable, but he likes combat. Like, you can tell that he's like, no, this is my thing, and I am all for like a one-on-one bout, and I want the challenge. Like, that's the kind of guy he strikes me as. I could be off, but I do like him, except the one thing I didn't like was when he almost killed my boy on the bridge, and I'm not gonna get over the bridge. Like, I'm pretty sure I've been talking about that for the most of the video, but am I alone in that? Did anybody else think like, man, this is it? Like, Kinro's, because not only did Kinro get stabbed, but he fell off the bridge and was hanging onto this dude's leg, like hanging on for dear life. And that's the one gripe I have with the episode. I do have one gripe with the episode, and that's that Kinro is holding on to this dude's leg, right? Or at least like holding on to like a piece of the bridge. I couldn't really see what he grabbed. It looked like his leg. It could have been maybe just the rope of the bridge. Either way, the guy didn't just stab Kinro's hand. Like not that I wanted Kinro to die, but like I was shocked that he let him hold on to the bridge for so long, because they're like, we have to build like a flintlock pistol now. It's got to happen now. And they don't really, like, they just kind of fool them into thinking that like they have a pistol, right? That they have guns, because like it's smart the way they do it. Because Gen's just like, Magma, throw this rock. And I'm starting to see why people are like, you'll come around on Magma. Because at first, you guys know, I wasn't a big Magma fan. He wasn't a character. He was just a plot device. And he still is, to the extent that you could tell he's just here to sort of bolster the ranks of the Kingdom of Science, give them some muscle. And I'm looking forward to seeing him grow, because I can already kind of see how that's going to happen. Like, I can see him, like, he's reluctantly helping Senku and the gang, even though he wants to be the leader of the village. And that's going to eventually sort of form a begrudging respect. And maybe, like, we'll see him, like, make the sacrifice play down the line, or maybe he'll just sort of grow to be a important member of the Kingdom of Science. I can see Magma growing into an actual character very soon. So I'm looking forward to that. But, yeah, like, the use of Magma in this episode was very smart. They have him throw the rock to make it look like Senku shot to the side of the mountain to kind of scare them off. Because you have the sound, and then you have the impact of the rock. It wasn't a real gun. They just tricked them into thinking it was. And I thought that was very clever. Now, the whole episode is filled with very clever, right? Because when you see, like, when we get to the whole, like, when we wrap up Kinro on the bridge, right? And I will say that's actually another thing that I thought was kind of like, really? Kinro gets stabbed in the gut, and Senku's just like, you'll be fine! And he just starts throwing stuff at the wound to be like, you're fine, everything's fine, you're gonna be fine. And mind you, a significant amount of time passes between, like, I think they say it's been a couple days, but he got stabbed in the gut. Like, I was like, really? He's okay? Not that I'm upset. I want Kinro to be okay. But eventually, like, the battle ends with them running off, and they save Kinro, they pull him back up, and Senku sort of nurses him back up, and they have the battle prep for the second wave, because they know that they're going to come back during a storm, because if they come back during a storm, they think that, like, oh, okay, well, they won't be able to aim quite as well with the guns, so maybe we'll have a better shot in a storm. Makes sense. Again, a lot of smart plays. And what I love is that the smart plays just continue, right? It's a very clever episode, because they have you assume, like the writers make you assume that they're going to build guns, but that's not actually what they build. Instead, it's katanas. That had me cheering, because I was like, friggin' of course! Like, they're using, like, spears and stuff. Use a katana, cut that stuff down the middle. All of a sudden, they don't have weapons anymore. Like, that was actually really, really clever. And seeing the gang and, like when it cuts to them, like, in samurai garb for a second, I was like, this is so dope. Like, this is so cool. And you know what, too? Again, I've gotten used to the whole, like, we're not gonna get some Sakuga in Dr. Stone, and I'm okay with that because the moments of action that we do get are pretty hype. And seeing seeing Kohaku and everybody like just laying waste to Tsukasa's men, not that they killed them, mind you, which I appreciate, because I was like, you guys ain't killers. You may have to come to a point where you'll have to kill some of Tsukasa's men, and that sucks. But hopefully we can do that without losing anybody, because, you know, maybe we can induct them into the Kingdom of Science afterwards. I doubt it, but maybe we could. But I like the fact that they kick their asses, essentially, and until it looks like Tsukasa's, like, his right-hand man is gonna, it looks for a second like he's gonna kill Kohaku, and I'm like, there is no way they will ever kill Kohaku. And that's when the spear breaks, and I was like, what did I tell you? Wait a minute, how did the spear break? And at first I was like, that's mighty convenient, but it's not that it's mighty convenient, it's that it's mighty clever, because you know who broke it? It was Gen. And you actually see the scene of Gen messing with the spear, and again, it was one of those situations where maybe I'm just not that clever because I didn't pick up at all what Gen was doing. But Gen actually screws with the spear so that the top of it is sort of like, it's weaker. Not enough that he would notice right away, but that in combat it would sort of fall, like the spear tip would fall out. And Gen is just, and it's all thanks to Gen that Kohaku's not dead, and that they end up beating the second wave. And I was like, yeah, it also totally means that Gen can no longer serve as a spy, since now they know that Gen is on the Kingdom of Science's side. But I'm okay with that because it fulfills Gen's arc. I loved it. The whole episode is just fantastic. I will say though, and I'm sure some folks are gonna be like, oh, get over it, but I kind of wanted to see Taiju and Yuzuriha. Like, I was really hoping that they would be the ones who showed up. Like, he would send a scouting party, and it'd be Taiju and Yuzuriha, and they'd be like, "Hey man, what's up?" Like, I thought it would be that, but like, no, of course they wouldn't, because like if he sent Taiju and Yuzuriha, they wouldn't tell him if they found Senku, or they'd just stay. You know, like of course they wouldn't. They wouldn't send Taiju and Yuzuriha, but I want to see them because, again, Senku had this big thing. He's just like, Yuzuriha, I need you to do something for me, but you got to keep it a secret. Okay, this is between me and you. So I'm like, what was that thing that was episodes upon episodes upon episodes ago? Like, I want to know what it was. I want to see what Taiju's been up to, man. I miss Taiju. Like, I love Chrome, and I love Gen, and I love all those characters. Ginro. Like, I love all of them, but man, I miss my boy. Like, I miss Taiju, and I miss Yuzuriha, and I want to see them again. I know, I've been harping on it since they left. It's been a long time. I know, like, I remember manga fans being like, you'll forget about them. No, I didn't. I miss them. I want them back, and I assume we'll see them before the end of the season. That'd be, actually, you know what? I would be totally okay with not seeing them until like the last episode of the season where they make like a big moment. Or next week. I would love to see them next week. I would love to see them as soon as possible. But I would be totally okay with it if they kept teasing that they were coming. Like you'd see them, like you'd maybe see them in silhouette or something, and then eventually in the finale, like you see them show up. The season finale, because I'm safely going to assume that Dr. Stone will get a sequel, because I think it's been going pretty well. I think the show's been relatively popular amongst the anime community, and I love it. I don't know if you could tell. I've only been covering it for every friggin' episode, but yeah, I'm a big Dr. Stone guy. I quite enjoy it. But yeah, everybody, I'm going to wrap up my thoughts here, and if you couldn't tell, I'm going to continue the Dr. Stone trend and give this week's episode a very solid A rank. This was just really friggin' cool. On that note, everybody, that just about wraps everything up. But before we go, as always, I want to give a big shout out to the good folks over on Patreon, namely those in the Earl Grey tier: Calvin Atkinson, Crowbar of Irony, Dominic, Urza, Ginkotaku, No For Nothing, Maria Teresa, Mirth Mouser, Omner Garamond, Cell, Shadow Creative, Sipco Games, Somastan, Steven, Tristan, and Verdon. Thank you all so much for your continued support over on Patreon, and hey, if you too would like to join the T Squadron, then by all means go ahead and check out that first link in the description to check out our Patreon page, see all the cool rewards you can get for as little as $1 a month, and get access to our Patreon exclusive Discord. But on that note, everybody, that's going to be a video, so I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, you've probably been on the internet long enough to know what to do already, so I ain't going to tell you, but I will say that it is appreciated, and if you are feeling stressed out today, then you go have yourself a warm cup of tea, and I will talk to you all again real soon.